History has always been, my passion. It's always been my favourite subject ever since I was very, very young at school. But I think I realised that it was not going to be a career path, and I wanted to do something outdoorsy, something exciting, and I kind of fancied myself as being the next Jacques Cousteau. So I ended up studying for a degree in oceanography, and I had a very enjoyable and I suppose relatively successful career in oceanography and in environmental science. When I decided to move back to South Wales and I was looking for work here and I had no joy in finding an environmental job, my father suggested to me, why didn't I think of taking up writing? So I decided to give it a crack, just to make a few bob on the side really. One thing that always fascinates me are stories of obscure and interesting campaigns that aren't generally covered. And why military history? Well, it's Thomas Hardy put it, war makes rattling good history while peace is poor reading. I've been writing about the Second World War for a long time, and I'd long hankered after a subject that would take me perhaps into that slightly more romantic age of sail, the horse and musket period, and an excuse to go back to the Napoleonic period. It's remarkable how few people have even heard of the War of 1812 in this country. And in fact, even in the 1880s, William Kingsford, the Canadian historian, was saying that the War of 1812 wasn't forgotten in Britain because it was never known here. From the British perspective, it's always really a sideshow to the main event on the continent of Europe. From the North American perspective, of course, it's different. Ironically, it's often portrayed, or often written up as being a second war of independence. I think that's absolutely false. I don't think America's independence was ever under any form of threat from the British. If it did achieve one thing, it was to cast in stone Canadian independence. The way that I tend to work is that I'll start from the top down by sketching out the major events and then try to find the witnesses to it and see how those events affect them or how they're affected by circumstances surrounding the event. So it very much becomes a personal story for me, or a personal quest on that particular topic. Becoming an historian was almost by accident. But a very, very fortunate one, because it turns out to be very much what I most enjoy doing.